Hi, this is Billy from Art of Play Games. This is a playthrough of a very early demo of Lady Death DEMONICRON, the first level. This is a demo that we created for San Diego Comic-Con. We're still about 8 months away from launch at this point, so as you can imagine this is a pretty early build. Over the next 6 or 7 weeks we're fleshing out the AI, we're building out more levels, we're adding more content. But this should give you a good indication of how the game's starting to shape up and how the gameplay works and what it looks like. If you're a fan of Lady Death, the comic book, you'll know that she's an absolute badass character. She's incredibly overpowered, so one of the things we had to figure out early on is how do we balance that? How do we make the game fun and give the player some jeopardy while also making them feel like they've got an awful lot of control and power? And we hope that we've balanced that right, but obviously we'll be tweaking that all the way through. So this gameplay video is going to show off level 1. We're at the prison gates here. Lady Death's just woken up at the gates. She doesn't know where she is, doesn't know what's going on, and she starts getting attacked by some demons. Now Ash and I were massive fans of Mortal Kombat back in the 90s, especially the first 2 games in the arcade, and we wanted to bring a bit of that to this game. So you'll see that there's a number of different ways that you can kill enemies, basically sort of the equivalent of finishing moves. Depending on what attack you use to kill an enemy, they can fall down dead, they can fall down in flames, they can explode, throw their guts all over the place. You can slice them vertically, head to toe, you can slice them horizontally, slice them across the belly. They can be exploded and shocked, all sorts of things. And we'll show some of those moves off as we go through the game. Lady Death's got something around 60 moves at the moment. It's quite a lot, including her movement and jumping and things like that. They're not all in this demo, but most of them will be. There's still a few things, the grapple system we haven't got in fully yet. There's still some air combat, and we've only put one of the special sword attacks in at the moment. You'll see up in the top left hand corner of the screen we've got the sword, flaming sword icon. It's one of 6 special moves that she can pick up throughout the game, which is persistent. So when you collect those swords, you've then got the rest of the playthrough and for future playthroughs. They act kind of like superpowered attacks to get you out of a jam. We've also got this mana or power bar, the top left hand corner of the screen. Certain moves use up mana as you go through, and you can collect more, and you can also build it up through regular melee attacks. Okay, so as we're going through this level, you'll see that there's half a dozen or so different enemies in this particular level at the moment. These crawlers crawl out of the floor and attack you. They're super easy to kill, especially if you use that lovely stomp move there, which is a little bit overpowered on the smaller creatures. You just stamps on them with her spike boots. The red guys, the Razorbacks, are your kind of cannon fodder. Relatively easy to kill, but they've got some cool attacks and some cool deaths. And those big prison demons, there we go, that's one of the finishing moves there, which makes them explode. We've got the bats, which come in waves, and they come in individually as well. And we have the hell rats that run in as well. And then towards the end of the level you'll see the prison guards, which are the super overpowered mini bosses. Now, like I said at the start, we've got very basic AI in at the moment. We're working on that, so we'll do another one of these videos in a few weeks that will show that progression. At the moment, most of these enemies are pretty done. They're just coming towards you and attacking. And we've only got one of their attack moves in at the moment, and a couple for the prison guards. All of the enemies have got multiple attacks. The bigger, more interesting enemies have got several. The small ones have got fewer. When we get to the prison guards in a minute, they've got 2 states as well. They start with a big shield, and they have a couple of different attacks they can do with the shield. And you can't start knocking their health off until you've destroyed the shield stamina as well, which makes them a little bit more interesting. Now, as you know, if you've been following the Kickstarter or following our previous games, everything's hand-drawn. We use a standard traditional comic book style of art creation, so the team draws everything by hand the same way that they would for making comic books. Then we animate, then we colour, which gives everything this comic book feel. We've still got VFX to add in and lots of things to tweak, but we think it's looking pretty good so far. We'll definitely be up at the wall. We've got lots of blood. We've got blood falling on the floor. Some of it's persistent, some of it isn't for optimization reasons. And then we've got the strong splatter as well. And obviously the more powerful bladed weapon attacks create more blood than the standard melee attacks. So stop point again. So most of the time the special attacks have got some sort of blue flame or blue VFX on, so that'll give you an idea of which attacks are linking up the power bar. Generally, that when she's pulling at her side, flips and spins, anything like that. But we've set it so that we want people using those attacks a lot. We don't want them to screw up. So that was her reveal attack. She looks away from the camera and opens her top up, stuns enemies and makes them explode, which is kind of cool. There's 3 different attacks you can do with the scythe. There's a vertical slice, horizontal slice, and she can throw it as well, so you've got a little bit of range in there. It's good to do as a finishing move for a standard combo. And go on to the other side of the screen to finish up with one side. And then she's got several area attacks as well, crowd clearance. So she's got a horizontal spin and that flip kick, which I really like. That's her levitate attack there. She levitates up, it uses a full power bar. And when she's in the air, it stuns all the enemies and then they explode. So these are the prison guards. You can see they've got their shields there. They've also got this electric mace club. You saw there that they kind of act like a taser. They can stun the enemy, or stun the player, sorry. And like I said, until the shield's been destroyed, you can't actually kill them. Obviously, like I said before, the AI is super basic at the moment. You can see they're kind of in step, but these guys are going to work in tandem later on, so they'll be trying to surround you and attack you from both sides. And they've got at least 2 more attacks to go in as well. You see, they're just using their tasers at the moment until the shield's been destroyed. Just pull them a little bit of backup. The 2 sort of monk-looking characters are prisoners, hostages that you've got an option. You can slay them if you want, or you can defeat the enemies and finish the level. You can see them running off to find a way with enemies being destroyed. And then once we finally kill these prison guards, we can actually exit the level. Okay, so we go up and destroy the hell doors, and we exit the next level of hell. So that's a little glimpse of what the game's looking like so far. We'll do another one of these playthroughs in a few weeks' time to show off the progress of the game, and we'll see you soon.